All right, welcome to the channel. This is the first video we're going to react to, so let's get right into it. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button, okay, because we're going to do this a lot. All right, so make sure you're here.
Hey, I'm not the, this is Detective Shields, I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm not the case agent in this, I'm
Sorry, I had to check, make sure we were going.
Usually, detectives will be nice to the murderer because they want to, you know, get him in a calm state, lure him in with a false sense of security. That is so that he will reveal why he murdered someone. You know, get a fucking, get a confession out of him. Here, there is no reason to build reputation with the guy. It's literally on camera.
Okay. So the first thing he's doing is he's implying that these people, the police, are helping him only because he's white. You know, he's saying, well, it's already on video, so there's no need to be nice, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Basically saying that these are racists working together. That's what he's implying right there. But the reality is that these are professionals, okay? They're not going to come in and just beat his ass, drop him on his head, elbow him in the face. You understand what I'm trying to say? So he's just already trying to make a false equivalency here right away.
So why are they fucking shaking his hand and being like, man, I love you. I love your work.
Never did they say that. Never did they say, oh, I love you. I love your work. You're so great. Never.
You did a great job out there.
Case agent.
Did they say that? Did they imply that? No, they're just being professionals. It's called being a professional.
And the assistant case agent, if that makes any sense to you, are going to come speak to you in just a few moments, okay? Of course, before any of us speak to you and try to go into any kind of details about anything or anything like that, I'd like to read you your rights. Are you familiar with your rights, Miranda rights? Okay. Okay. The reason we wanted to do that first, you know, of course, we don't want to talk to you about anything. And again, the case agents are going to come in here in just a few moments. It's my understanding that your vehicle is still.
It's not a problem.
It's at the store.
Right by my house, so.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. We have it all cordoned off. It's safe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that parking lot, really.
Okay.
I never have. That's my store. I go in there every day.
You guys just live right around the corner?
Right around the corner.
Okay. Would you be willing to give us consent to go inside your vehicle and just for documentation purposes and that kind of thing?
Shit, yeah, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll be with you momentarily, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
It's gonna be two other guys, not quite as handsome as me, but they'll be in here in just a minute, okay?
Don't let them hear that.
Hey, partner.
Watch out.
Hey, my name's George Moffett. This
How you
is
doing?
Richie Raymond Chapman. You've been sitting here for a while. You need to use the restroom or anything?
Yes, please.
Okay. You got enough water and everything?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Mhm.
I need to get rid of it.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, man, my name's
Dude,
George.
literally all bald, all thumbs. Holy shit.
George Moffett. All right, we're just here at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office North District Station. Today's date's July 19th, 2018. We just want to talk to you, reference today's shooting. Just go through your
I covered this story. I'm like remembering it now. Pretty sure I covered this story at TYT.
your kind of day, like right before you get to the store.
Just coming back, going home, stopping at the store first, and then right around the corner to home.
Where do you live at, sir?
1116 Charles Street, Clearwater.
Are you employed, sir?
No, sir, retired.
Okay. Good for you, man.
Well, it never lasts.
I wish I was
Yeah,
retired.
it never lasts. I got to retire for about 13 years.
You mind if I call you Michael?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and you can call me George. So just walk through, you leave your house and you drive up to the store?
No, I was coming back from the Wawa down on Missouri and Rosary to get some cash. and headed home, stopped by the store, boom.
Oh, okay. So you get to the store, tell me, kind of walk me through what happens.
Well, I parked my car, and that's my store. I'm there every day.
This is the second time he has said this. It could be argued that he's already trying to give his version of events some form of reinforced vindication before he even states them. By it being his store and him being there every day, he is designating himself as some form of protector or guardian, thus characterizing his actions as pure and his logic behind them of pure intent.
Okay. So clearly that's not what he's saying. I'm not taking up for this guy. I believe what he did was wrong. But he's not saying this is my store because, you know, like he owns it or whatever. He's just saying this is the store I go to every day on a regular basis, right? They're reaching a little bit here because, you know, obviously this guy, they want him to be guilty. And I believe he is guilty. Okay. But again, reaching a little bit.
Plain and simple. And,
Does that remind you of anyone? I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse had never even been to that fucking car dealership, but you know, this is it's not a white store. It's owned by some fucking Muslim dude, okay? It's owned by a man by the name of Abdullah Ali Salus for 20 years. You think it was his store? Or you think it was Ali's store, motherfucker? No, he's a white guy, so he's just protecting property, brother. I see a black man.
Okay. So he tries to equate this to the Kyle Rittenhouse story. Obviously not the same. Kyle Rittenhouse was being beat over the head with skateboards. The dude actually pulled out a gun and put it in his face. So he had every right to shoot those people. By the way, this video is about a year old, so this is when like the case was going on, you know. But even then, people saw the video of Kyle Rittenhouse being beaten over the head with a skateboard and the guy running up, putting a gun in his face. Okay? And he had been to that car lot before. This guy had no clue what he was talking about. His friends owned that car lot. Okay? And he did not have to ever be at that car lot to protect people, to protect that car lot from other people burning it down. Right? Or breaking out the windows or stealing the cars. He had every right to defend that car lot if the people were trying to break in, blow it up, blow the cars up, whatever, right? It didn't matter. As you know, today he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. So this guy had no clue what he's talking about. So what he's trying to do here is he's trying to equate just white people shooting black people and getting away with it for no reason, which rarely happens, by the way. And not only that, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't shoot any black people. All right, let's keep going.
I see a black man in my favorite business.
But wait, if he's so racist, why would this place owned by a Muslim be his favorite business? Anyway, let's go.
By the way, this is like in Florida, also usage of the castle doctrine, also fucking after the George Zimmerman Trayvon Martin case. And
again, Trayvon Martin, extremely violent, slammed a man on the ground, started punching him in the face. Now, I believe that George Zimmerman had every right to defend himself. Even though he shot the boy in the back, the guy Trayvon had already beaten his head into the ground, busted his head wide open. He had no reason to think that boy was not going to come back and beat him up some more. He had every right to defend himself.
I'm going to fucking... I don't want to spoil it. Okay, let's just keep going.
every day there's
It's going to piss you off. If they show all of the details, it's going to piss you the fuck off.
somebody pulled in.
Okay, now he's right about that. When you watch the details of this, you know, you'll see. This guy definitely needed to go to jail. But, again, to equate him to Kyle Rittenhouse, George Zimmerman, people who were clear self-defense. All right? So, here we go.
Handicap spot there, just waiting on somebody.
Motherfucker be like,
I have a pet peeve about
he's like, I bought Black and Milds there. It's my store now.
it. Sure, I said, do you mind moving? There's a spot next door and there's spots out front. I said, do you mind moving and waiting on somebody? And
So there's plenty more spots and
There's
stuff.
plenty more spots, yes. And she took that as an affront that I would speak to her that way. Started getting a little, yelling, and then of course.
So you walk up to her car?
Actually, I was walking around it.
Oh, okay,
Okay, because I parked here, she was here.
okay.
Okay, so I just checked for placards, plain and simple. And she inquired about what was going on. So,
Okay.
and that's when I told her, about the handicap spots. That's
What did you tell her?
I said, it's not very polite to park here when there's other people who need to use this. She says, is it affecting you directly? I said, if my mother-in-law rolls in, yes, it will be. So, there was nothing, there was none of that between us at all.
Okay.
No, nothing. It was just heated words, that's all. About
Okay.
how I was
Bro, it is so hard to hear him. God.
speaking to her, I guess.
Okay.
She said, what do I have to do to get my man? I said, well, what's gonna
Dog, he literally illegally parked. And then also did a murder. So there is seriously just something fundamentally wrong with the conservative Floridian's mind, okay? Where you murder someone because of an altercation caused by, in your mind, an illegal parking job, as you are even more illegally parked than the other car at a store that you think you own because you've been there a couple times.
Okay. So a couple of things here. How do you know he's a conservative? You don't know that. He could be a liberal. You don't know. He could be a pro Second Amendment liberal. They do exist. This guy lives in Los Angeles, by the way. That's why he's saying stuff like this. He has no clue about the real world. He's never been outside and actually talked to people. I know liberals, Democrats, hardcore Democrats who own guns, who believe in the Second Amendment. So just because he has a gun does not mean he's a conservative. Is he a conservative? Maybe. I don't know. He doesn't know either. So I don't really know why he's saying that. But again, he's trying to equate white people with guns to conservatism. That is not always true. Is that more than likely the case? Probably. But you don't know if this guy's a liberal or conservative or not. And then later on, because I've watched this video a little bit, he goes, not the whole thing, but about halfway through, he goes in, basically saying that he was trying to hunt black people. Clearly not the case when you watch the video, because he's right. The guy in the video is right. The person was parked in a handicapped spot, and they were not handicapped. Now, should he went over there and made a big scene about it? Probably not. Maybe call the cops if you really want to be petty, because the people would have been in and out of the store, right? No big deal. It's illegal, right? But it's nothing to go to prison over or fight over. Nothing like that. All right, here we go.
happen then. And a little more arguing back and forth, and I never saw what hit me from
She was the driver of the car?
She was in the car. She was
Okay.
the only person in the car
All right.
that I know of.
You didn't see anybody else on the car?
Tinted windows, almost dark,
Okay.
couldn't see through.
All right. So you guys are talking?
Yeah, exactly. She's out of the car by this time.
Okay.
Standing next to it, that's all.
Okay.
And I got hit from the left side and thrown straight backwards in line with her car.
Okay.
So if you saw the two white ladder lines
Mhm.
next to the thing, that's where I was standing. Okay, so I went almost straight back after I got hit.
What do you mean hit?
I was standing like this talking to her.
Okay.
I was hit from right here. The shoulder was pulled in front of me, and then I was,
Oh, okay.
and then
All
I
right.
hit the ground.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure.
We'll get somebody to take pictures of all
Yeah,
this.
I'm not worried about that too much, but I'm pretty sure I landed my wrist under my gun, actually. That's how I landed, because that's hurting like a son of a bitch now.
So you landed on the pavement?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was on the ground.
So-
So that time I had to put hand down to get hand out from underneath. As I come out, I start drawing my weapon. As I start leveling off my weapon, he makes his next step towards me, and 21-foot rule.
The so-called 21-foot rule stems from what is known.
You're not a cop, you fucking piece of shit.
Okay. All right. Let me pause it here. The 21-foot rule does not apply just to police officers. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and break it down for you because they're about to explain it. But it does not apply to only police officers. All right.
And fuck cops as well, by the way, for the record.
Yeah, fuck
21
cops.
foot rule. What a fucking LARPer motherfucker, dude. I swear to God.
Why would you say fuck cops? I mean, they didn't do anything to you. I mean, you could see where this guy kind of leans, right? You know, if you know anything about political affiliation, ideology, you know where this guy's going.
Like that's not operating procedure. That's just like
It actually is operating procedure, and if you, this is how you know this guy's never been through any training with a gun, anything. The 21 foot rule is definitely operating procedure when you feel like you're being attacked, and somebody could definitely do bodily harm to you. Just look it up, you'll see.
oh my fucking God, dude. This dude is like the physical embodiment, the manifestation of like, you're talking to a future Marine because he's in JROTC.
Known as the Tuller drill.
Literally just trying to equate this guy to just Marines, police officers, white supremacists, everything that he views as bad, right? This guy's probably none of those things, all right? Just to be honest. I mean, he might be, but looking at his hair, mustache, the way his physical appearance, probably not none of the above, right? And he probably doesn't want to be none of those. Just because you own a gun and you can defend yourself and you know about the 21 foot rule, it does not make you a white supremacist, Marine loving, police loving bigot or whatever. All right, here we go.
A self-defense training exercise to prepare against a short-range knife or melee attack when armed only with a holstered handgun. The idea is that by the time an individual determines a deadly threat, draws their firearm, and fires, the attacker will have already closed up to 21 feet in distance. This reinforces the idea that one should have their handgun drawn and ready to engage at a target if they're within that distance. Yet what Drejka left out is that this training exercise puts a strong emphasis on the fact that the attacker must have a weapon in their hands. That is
Okay, so the key word there was strong emphasis of a weapon in their hand, but they do not have to have a weapon. You can use your hands and your feet as a weapon, as a deadly weapon, as a matter of fact. More people die from being punched in the head than they do from pretty much anything else. So just because you don't have a knife, it does not mean you are not a deadly threat to another person. So what they're trying to do is say, oh, this guy was unarmed, so he had no right to shoot this guy unless he had a weapon, right? Which is absolutely not true, but here we go.
That is the key component if one is to use this rule as a justification to immediately engage with deadly force.
I'm on the ground already.
Right. Okay.
It happened so fast, and that was that.
Did he say anything to you?
Negative. Not a word.
Okay. Did you say anything to him?
No.
Like back up? Or?
No.
It could be assumed that the suspect's frantic response was because he felt threatened by the question. Put yourself in his position, but assume that you knew, without question, that you were in the right, and there was no other option than to fire upon the attacker. When posed a completely logical question such as this, you would take a moment to grasp and incorporate its principle. This is because you would have no need to be in a defensive state of mind. You would feel no threat, and it's human nature to be inquisitive and curious about matters related to our own decision-making. It's how we grow as people. Yet, if we are in a defensive state of mind, this natural curiosity would be overlooked, as our focus would be projected outward toward the perceptions of others, rather than inward toward our own. In this instance, it could be argued that Drejka's immediate response, void of any contemplation whatsoever, is him trying to insinuate that he felt so threatened by the attacker that even the thought of giving any sort of a warning is an illogical concept. It's a variant of the emotional response known as appeal to extremes.
All right, couple things there. You do not have to give a warning to somebody who is physically attacking you. You do not have to say, stop, 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 don't do it, I'm going to shoot you, stop. You do not have to say that, okay? Especially in Florida. But if you take a concealed carry and, license class course, you'll find out that there is no obligation for you to give a warning to anybody. You do not have to do that if they are physically attacking you. Again, this dude is guilty of a crime. You'll see why in a minute when they show the video and they run through it. This guy did everything wrong, pretty much. Okay. Now, but the stuff they're saying, the narrator is saying, is absolutely not true. You do not have to warn anybody that is physically attacking you. The moment they attack you, you have a right to defend yourself if they are actively pushing forward to cause bodily harm. That is the key word there, bodily harm. They do not have the intent to kill you. That is not a requirement. Bodily harm. All right, keep that in mind.
Okay, so you draw your weapon, talk to me about that from,
Well, the way I was able to draw it, I couldn't level it with one hand, so I had to eventually try and bring my left around for support.
okay?
And he made his step towards me, and that was that.
How many steps did he make towards
Just
you?
one step.
Okay, and then that was that, talk to me about that, what do you?
By the way, this is a lie. He did not take the initial step after he pushed him to the ground. Now, so this is where everything gets tricky. He's saying that the guy pushed him down to the ground, which he did, and it was violent, by the way. You'll see it in the video. It was rough. And then the guy made a step towards him like he was going to do something else, but he did not do that. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind too.
What do you do from there?
I made sure there's no other threat around him because it spun him a little bit, and he ran into the store. Immediate threat gone. I did have her as a potential.
No, I mean beforehand, before you fired the gun.
Ask me the question.
See, before you fired the gun,
Yes.
once you pull the gun out,
Yes.
okay, you said he stepped towards you?
Yeah.
Because
He
I don't
made
know
one
what
more
he was-
step. Right. He made one more step towards me.
And then what do you do?
I didn't say a word. Gun
Okay.
was already out.
Okay, what do you do?
This is the point where you kind of have to see the footage. We're at 12:51. Remind me. Because, like, you have to see the fucking footage. Because it's not true.
Now, he's right. It's not true what that guy just said. What he said is absolutely not true. You're about to see right here. Okay, so let me tell you what you're looking at. You can see my cursor here. This is the guy that's in the video in the police interrogation room. Here he is right here. This he's arguing with the woman about being in the handicap spot for God knows what reason. He's illegally parked right here too. So he's breaking the law as well. So he really has no room to talk. I mean, so, you know, but let's just kind of watch the footage here. Okay, this is the guy that he shoots walking out of the store. He sees him arguing with his wife. Okay, now watch this.
He's yelling at the lady, illegally parked car, yelling at the lady. He pushes him like, "What the fuck are you doing to my wife?"
All right, so the first thing he says is, "Oh, what you doing fucking with my wife?" Well, he was just talking. Okay, so technically you didn't really have a right to walk up and push this guy violently to the ground like that. I mean, he pushed him a long way. That was a very, very, very hard push. Now, the guy doesn't have his gun out yet. Now, notice the black guy here. He's here. Remember, the white guy said that he took a step forward after he pushed him down to the ground. He doesn't. He doesn't. Look, he stops. He stops here. Okay? So, now you could argue that when he pushed him to the ground, that was enough to use deadly force because, you know, obviously there was a threat of bodily harm there. But watch this guy here. But, you know, this is where it gets tricky, you know. You have to really kind of watch here.
Fucking falls down. Skip the footage just to end up back here. He pushed him though. Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, like, it was okay to just fucking harass someone's wife, dude.
Right. And listen, there is something to that, but he was harassing her, but he wasn't a physical threat at that point in time, bro. Like, he wasn't, obviously this lady wasn't scared. I mean, he wasn't going to hurt her. as far as we know, I mean, she was standing outside the car. You could see her here. So if he was like a real threat, this lady would have not been standing here like this. Now, I'm not saying what he was doing was right. Obviously, it was wrong. He shouldn't have been harassing this lady. But to push him to the ground like that, you would need for this man to be, a threat, right? Because, at this point, if this man was to keep moving forward, this guy would have been completely justified in shooting him after pushing him to the ground like that, because there is definitely a threat of bodily harm. Remember that. That is the key thing about this, because he already hurt him, by the way. He scraped his arms all up and pushed it. I mean, this guy's not a young man. I mean, he's not an old man, but he's old enough to be hurt pushing him to the ground like that. But this guy here, he does not step forward again, even though pushing him down to the ground was wrong. Right? So check it out.
Unban that guy you banned for a week. You're showing us the footage now. That's why you wanted to see it, to confirm what he says. You got triggered. Oh, dude. Wait, you want me to unban that guy? That's crazy, man.
See, and this is just him being a asshole, right? Because people were challenging him on the video. This is your typical liberal bullshit where he went through. In case you didn't notice what he did there, the guy said, hey, ban this other guy, unban him because you banned him for asking to see this video that we're watching now. He just wanted to see it, so he banned the guy. And so when this guy said, hey, look, you banned him unfairly, he banned him too. Typical liberal bullshit. All right.
What are these demands, dude? Motherfuckers think that oh, I have words that I can use in the chat, which means I own you as a person. Like, you are my content slave, so do as I please. Didn't you ban the guy because he demanded the link? I banned the guy because he was like, oh, just show us the murder, just show us the murder. What the fuck? At least give us the fucking link. When you can very clearly figure out what this public video looks like from the title. Anyway. Hassan Power Trip Piker. I mean, okay, you can get some too. This is not a power trip. Sometimes you got to clean it up a little bit, You guys are new, so you don't know. But there's a reason why this community is so fucking awesome. It's because, unlike other content creators, I constantly have a back and forth with my chat. So sometimes I'll just snip a little bit. So if you appreciate chat being on the side the entire time and being able to fucking have a conversation, then recognize that, that's the reason why I have to, every now and then, snipe some stupid shit. For the record, the snipping is currently happening.
Basically, what he's saying is you agree with what I say, there's no debate about it, or you get banned, right? So, if you know anything about leftist liberals, this is the authoritarian mindset that they're always in.
Won't go again. Not have. I do. Yeah. So he pulls his gun out for on the ground. There is no walking. He walks back. He scales back. He's still not shot him at this point. Like, he's literally walking back. I just wanted to make sure that was. He is walking back at this point. Wait, what's the frame? Is it the comma to show you Yeah, here. I'm gonna show you frame by fucking frame, dude. Look. Why isn't it working? What the fuck? Here. He's literally stepping back. Literally stepping back. Just wanted to, I wanted to show you this. I wanted to show you this because I wanted you to see that he is straight up fucking lying, okay? Stepping back, literally takes a foot, like takes a step in the other direction, and then he shoots him.
And that's true. As you can see in the video, this guy starts walking away. Now, you can argue that he pushed him down and, you know, but once he pulled the gun out, the threat was over. I mean, it was over with. He should have been, because he hesitated a long time to shoot this guy. So, you know, I mean, you know, it's just such a hard situation because he pushed him down to the ground, and you have to think, if you pushed him down to the ground, you know, there's that bodily harm threat. But the guy did walk away. He pushed him. He saw the gun. He immediately retreated, and this guy kind of shot him in the side and in the back. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you know, you can't do that, man. Right? I mean, you just can't do it.
$12.51 was where I was, right? Thank you, chatters.
Yeah.
Because
He
I
made
don't know
one
what
more
he
step. Right. He made one more step towards me.
And then
I
what do
did
you
not-
do?
I didn't say a word. Gun
Okay.
was already out.
Okay, what do you do?
Fire my weapon.
How many times you fire the
One
weapon?
time, sir.
Okay, so you fire the weapon and then basically just scan?
I ended up.
He's lying about that too. When you go watch the video, he shot him more than once. I think he shot 3 or 4 times. It looked like that anyway, but it was definitely more than one time.
Standing up, made sure all the threats were cleared, reholstered my weapon.
Okay. All right, so he didn't come back at you again or anything like
Not
that?
after he left.
Where did he go?
Into the store.
Okay. Did you strike him?
No.
No, I mean with a gun.
No. I don't know. I
Okay.
assume so, yes, because there was an ambulance there.
Okay, so you don't know if you hit him?
I
or not?
know nothing, but I would assume so.
Okay, all right. So, what do you do? Talk me from there after you reholster your weapon.
After I reholster my weapon, everything's clear. Somebody's screaming about her kids.
So look at this question here. Aren't you able to use firearm after being assaulted, though? Just a question. I think the guy shouldn't shoot, is what he was saying. Yeah, you can. You can use a firearm after being assaulted, though. But the threat has to be continuous. So when he pushed him down and he pulls the gun out and the guy backs up, then you know, you can't shoot him in that situation. But if the guys if they're constantly putting pressure to you, forward momentum on you to continually attack you, then yes, you can shoot. And you can shoot after being punched one time. But again, this is all based on circumstances. In that circumstance right there, the guy didn't punch him. He didn't do it. He pushed him to the ground, but he wasn't a continuous threat, right? Because even before he even saw the gun, he wasn't pursuing him to beat him up or anything. You know, like I said, it's circumstantial. You know, it's all about the circumstances. In this circumstance, he did not have a right to shoot him after that. No, he didn't. Because the guy turned around and walked away. And the black guy died, by the way. He killed him.
Somebody screaming about her kids.
Aren't you able to use a firearm after being assaulted, though? Just a question. I think the guy shouldn't have shot. It depends. If it's reasonable and proportionate, then you can defend yourself with a weapon. But if there's an altercation where the dude literally thought that he was defending, his wife, then no.
Okay, this is not true, because the guy might have thought he was defending his wife, but the guy wasn't violent with his wife. Okay, so just like if somebody's standing there having a conversation, with your wife, even if it is a little bit heated, it's the same exact scenario. This man was not being violent with that woman, so technically you don't have a right to be violent with him. You can't just walk up and push people and, do whatever you want to them just because they're disagreeing with you. Now, if this white dude here was stepping forward towards his wife in a, confrontational manner, then yeah, he had every right. But you can't just walk up and just push somebody to the ground because they're yelling at you or something like that. And if you watch the video, he doesn't look like this white guy here. He doesn't look like he's being violent. He's got his hands in his pocket. He's standing there. He's pointing every now and again, but he's clearly not being violent. So no, what he's saying here is not right. Just because you think you're defending somebody, it does not mean that you are legally in the right. All right.
You can't do that.
You can do that. All right. So don't listen to this guy. He has no clue what he's talking about. But anyway, here we go.
Like, you can't fucking shoot someone because you got pushed.
You absolutely can shoot somebody just because you got pushed. If they push you to the ground and they start walking towards you again, that is a threat to your body and to your life. You can you can argue that you were scared because he kept pursuing you. Absolutely. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about here.
If your life is actually being threatened, if the dude actually had a fucking knife.
Nope, he does not have to have a knife. He does not have to have anything in his hands. All he has to do is pursue you in a violent manner. That's all he has to do. All you have to have is reasonable threat of bodily harm. It does not have to happen to you first. They do not have to punch you first. They do not have to push you first. None of this matter of fact, you could shoot somebody, again, circumstantial, like this is all about circumstance. You could shoot somebody without them ever laying a hand on you and be totally justified. All about the circumstances. This guy's going to try to make it like you have to be armed to be shot by somebody. Absolutely not true. Do not let this guy fool you.
And was lunging at you and you shot them, then you have a more reasonable defense than invoking the castle doctrine, because
Bullshit. And you don't even need to invoke the castle doctrine. This is not even a thing. Reasonable. Okay? Reasonable belief that you are going to receive bodily harm. That's all it takes. Castle doctrine, all that bullshit out the window. You don't need none of that. Bodily harm is the standard. Okay? Death or bodily harm. Period. That's why when the police come up on you and they say, take your hands out of your pockets, and you start reaching in your waistband, they shoot you because there is a belief or there's proof that they could have been harmed by you because you got your hands in your waistband. They don't know if you got a gun, right? Right? They don't know. They don't know what you got in your waistband. They don't know what you got in your pockets. That's why they tell you to take your hands out of your pockets. You don't need a weapon. You don't need anything. You can have a cell phone in your pocket and get shot, and it'll be completely justified. Like I said, this guy literally has no clue what he's talking about.
is like your feelings were hurt because you got pushed by the husband of the woman you were harassing. Also, on top of that, when he was on the ground,
again, no proof that this guy was harassing the lady. I mean, are you going to say that him telling her not to park in that spot is harassing her? I would think you'd be making a real far stretch to say that this guy was harassing this lady out there like that. Now, was it nice what he was doing and all that stuff? No. Right? Was it stupid? Yes. Harassment? There's some standard that comes with that, right? Like, you have to prove some things there, okay?
it's not like the dude was charging him. The dude was walking away and he got shot in the side. So,
yes. Now, that is true. The guy was walking away and got shot in the side. That's what makes this man guilty right here, because the threat was over. Sure, he pushed him to the ground, and you could consider that, a threat of bodily harm, right? But I mean, the guy turned around and walked away. He was unarmed. He didn't pursue you after that. You know, he saw the weapon. He didn't make it, you know, he didn't advance. Like I said, it's all about circumstances. This guy, this Michael Drejka guy, he was for sure in the wrong.
You can't fucking do that at all. Like, that is like the most unacceptable thing.
Somebody thought they were in the car.
You cannot instigate a confrontation and then use lethal force to defend yourself in my state as a concealed carry weapon
So,
permit holder.
said everybody's inside, you know, see if you can get her to unlock the car. You know, and that was it. All I remember is screaming about kids.
Okay. What do you do from after you hear?
You cannot
What did he
instigate
say
a
again?
confrontation and then use lethal force to defend yourself in my state.
Okay, you cannot instigate a confrontation and then use lethal force to defend yourself in my state. Well, he didn't instigate a confrontation. See, when you use the word confrontation, that means there is a physical altercation basically there going on. Him saying, hey, don't park here, right? I mean, I guess you can call it a confrontation, but there's no threat of bodily harm to anybody by him just saying, hey, don't park there, right? Like, so, like I said, this guy, this Seattle surf dude here, I don't really think he knows what he's talking about.
State as a concealed carry weapon
So,
permit holder.
said everybody's inside, you know, see if you can get her to unlock the car. You know, and that was it. All I remember is screaming about kids.
Okay. What do you do from after you hear somebody talking about our kids and stuff?
Everything's all, well, I asked one person to go, you know, see if she could unlock her car from the inside, and then I decided
You can do it in Florida, though.
to extricate myself from the situation completely and just back to my vehicle and wait for you. So I took my firearm out, unloaded it, locked it, left it in the car. And
What do you mean you locked the back?
Yes.
Okay.
Unloaded it, locked it back, waited for you.
Okay. Did you unload a bag or anything like that? Or?
No, God,
Okay.
no. Just
All
the
right.
one that was in the pipe.
We're gonna kind of slow it down a little bit and kind of, because I'm gonna be asking specific questions about the incident. And again, just like you just be truthful with me.
No trouble there.
And just because we got to kind of dot our I's and cross our T's, exactly what happened. I know you kind of went through it a little fast or whatever, so we're going to just go back a little bit. Is that okay?
Saying defending your wife makes aggression more reasonable is super patriarchal and sexist. I'm a pad tryhard. The words I have for you are
Okay, so this guy, right, this I'm a pad try hard, right? He's trolling him, and he doesn't understand it. So he's about to just go absolutely crazy on him.
significantly worse than what that person did to the other person, where he murdered them. I hope you have a horrible life every single day for the rest of your life. You already do have a horrible life. For you to be able to come in here and like make a joke like this implies that you already have the worst life ever. Like, you are literally the biggest scumbag. Like, you're a pathetic vermin. Like, you're like a worm. And you thought you could come in here and say wormy shit like this, right? And I wish that it gets even worse than your current pathetic fucking existence, where every single moment is already painful for you because you know everyone around you hates you.
Okay, so basically he said, I hope you die, right? So he's saying that this guy's bad for committing murder or whatever he says, but then he wishes death on somebody else. Like I said, just your typical liberal hypocrite right there.
That was really good. That was really good. The oh, it was so sexist. I hope you fucking feel how much of a garbage person you are. Okay? Not a fucking funny joke, you dumb fuck. Anyway, it's top of the hour. I don't even want to do a fucking segue right now, okay? It's top of the hour every hour. It's a 60-second ad break. What did the guy say? He was joking about like this murder where he was just making a joke like it's incredibly patriarchal and sexist to justify aggression, to justify the aggression of I don't even know what it was. I just don't want to even fucking. That other guy got clapped. Get fucked, idiot chatter. Oh yeah, I quickly murdered another idiot in the chat who was like, "Oh, you're power tripping again." Yeah. Of all the 10 bands, only one was a sub. Why do you keep the chat open, the non-subs? I will not fucking sub only this chat. Are you crazy? You went off like that because of a joke? Here, I'm going to go off on you because of that question too. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. This is good. This is good. This is a learning process for a lot of you new friends here, okay? Yes, if I'm talking about like the fucking murder of an innocent black dude in the state of Florida for defending his.
Yeah, well, he wasn't totally innocent. I mean, he did go push the guy down and, in a violent manner and stuff. But like I said, he was wrongfully shot for sure. But innocent? Maybe not, right? You don't go around just pushing people to the ground, right?
His wife, and someone turns around and like tries to justify it immediately after I showed you the fucking traumatic footage of an innocent person being murdered right in front of our eyes. If your immediate goal is to just like, I don't know, make a fucking joke that literally justifies this white supremacist action.
Again, no evidence that this guy is a white supremacist, man. Like, this is just, I don't understand this. Like, there is no proof this guy is a white supremacist at all. I mean, none whatsoever. And you know what? Most likely he's probably not, because it looks like he was living in the hood, man.
I don't want you in this community. Or at least you can stay in the community, but you can also exercise your right to shut the fuck up until you beg for mercy a couple months down the line, as many members do, and say, I have reformed. I came in here as a fucking piece of shit, and now I don't have these piece of shit opinions, and I'm sorry for being a racist dipshit. Okay? Now, if you will then turn around and be like, it's just a joke, dude, relax, then I will ban you as well. Because I don't think you understand the severity. I mean, just because I make jokes doesn't mean that, like, I'm going to literally sit here and act like white supremacist takes like this are.
Again, no evidence that nobody is a white supremacist. And so what he's saying is if you joke about a serious situation that involves a black person being shot or anything like that, you're a white supremacist. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. But anyway, he's a wild-eyed liberal, so I mean, being ridiculous is definitely not off the table.
Even remotely acceptable in this community, it is not.
By the way, white supremacy is not accepted anywhere. In case you forgot, we fought the biggest white supremacist on the planet, called the Nazis, and we killed them, okay? We won that war. We done it because they were lunatic, crazy people who thought they could kill anybody they wanted to further their Aryan race, okay? So, America is literally anti-white supremacist. I mean, straight up, 100%. All right, here we go.
I forgot to run an ad. I'm going to run it now.
Oh, yeah. This is all just to score political points with Twitch and YouTube, and, so that way they don't cut him out of the algorithm and stuff like that. He doesn't believe he might believe what he's saying, but he knows what he's doing. Trust.
Here's the ad break. Anyway, let's keep going.
All right. Appreciate it. So you exit your vehicle, right? Like you always do, and you're getting ready to walk in the store.
Yeah.
And what do you see from there?
No placard on the front of the car, because I have to walk by the car to.
So you approach the vehicle.
Oh, front of the vehicle, yeah.
Okay. And your intentions on walking around the cars to look for placards?
Always, yeah.
Okay. Where do you
usually
normally
take pictures if there's, you know.
Okay. You take pictures if you don't see no placards, or
Correct.
you take, okay. Where do you normally look for placards?
License plate, windshield, and the front.
Okay.
See if there's a front license plate or anything.
Dude, this is like, this is the most annoying type of person. On top of being like a white supremacist piece of shit.
Again, no evidence that this guy is a white supremacist. Just because he shot a black person does not mean he's a white supremacist at all. You know, in his mind, he might have really, truly thought he was doing the right thing, even though he done the wrong thing. I mean, should he be out there, you know, policing people who park in, you know, handicapped spots who are not handicapped? Absolutely not. He just needs to move on, go on to the store, get what he gets, and leave. And at the very maximum, call the police, right? But anyway, let's just let this guy go here.
He's like also exhibiting the most annoying type of behavior. Like, dude, even cop families don't like cops that much. And this motherfucker is like literally a wannabe cop. He's like a LARPer acting like a cop when he's not even a cop. Like, he's not even getting paid to be a fucking asshole.
Again, implying that all cops are assholes, which is not true. I mean, we know that's not true.
Literally a Nazi hall monitor, dude.
A Nazi hall monitor. No evidence that this guy is a Nazi. Just says it. I mean, I just don't understand this, man. Like, why would you say things like this about people? I mean, yeah, he was in the wrong, but to say he's a white supremacist, Nazi, and all this shit, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway.
Pathetic.
When you approached the vehicle, was the driver, did you make eye contact with the driver?
I couldn't see the driver. The windows are so dark.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody was in the car.
Right.
Truthfully.
So her window wasn't rolled down?
No,
The
not
driver's
at the
side?
time, no.
Okay. So you start walking around the car?
Yeah, I walked from the front to the back and then just back up again. And
Okay.
I took no pictures. I just, we
Sure.
assumed we'd go and keep going, but then the window came down.
He states that the altercation started once the driver rolled down her window, yet the surveillance says otherwise. The prosecution stated that the suspect spotted the driver through the windshield and engaged with her at this moment.
Well, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, when you look through the windshield, obviously it's not so tinted that you can't see anybody in there. Obviously, he sees the woman sitting in the car. Again, when you watch him walk around the car, look, we'll back it up here a little bit. When he walks around the car, he's not like in this weird space to where he's just trying to, like, you know, he's not walking up in a violent manner, right? Like, I mean, I would be, if I saw somebody doing that to my car, I would be worried, right? Like, I go, okay, what is this guy doing? I would definitely be watching. Now, if you look right here, you can kind of see what this guy's doing. Look right here. Go ahead and show your support for these BLM protests nationwide. Some were protests, some were riots, by the way. Not all of these were protests. Burning down cities, burning down buildings, blowing up the Wendy's. I mean, robbing people blind, killing people, killing police officers. I mean, so to call them all, you know, yeah, if they were just protesting, like for real protesting, sure, I support that. But I don't support the ideology of these guys. But I do support your right to protest, whether I agree with you or not. But, you know, not all of these were protests. But anyway, let's watch him kind of walk around the car again.
It says otherwise. The prosecution stated that the suspect...
See, he's not really a threat here, but I would definitely be concerned if I saw somebody doing this to my car. I would be definitely watching this guy, and I would get out and say something to him. I would say, hey, man, what you doing? Like, you know, but obviously this person knows they're parked in a handicapped spot. You know, and I didn't really understand it because they could have parked right here. I mean, right at the front door. I mean, why go over here and illegally park? I mean, this guy's illegally parked too. But, you know, right here, right? And this is an old country corner store, I could tell. I have a store like this around my house. And I don't always park legal up there either because most people don't give a shit, right? We just kind of just pull up and just pull up, right? So, you know, no big deal with these cars. But, you know, being parked here in the handicap spot, not cool, right? They could have parked right here. But again, this guy here, he really could have let this go, right? He really, really could have let this go. He did not have to do what he's doing right here. He's not a threat at this point in time, for sure. But what he's doing is wrong. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, he should have called the cops.
Spotted the driver through the windshield and engaged with her at this moment. The window then comes down at this moment.
And they say, oh, the window comes down at this moment. Well, we really don't know, right? The window could have been down the whole time. I'm sure they're right, though. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying we don't know, right? Like, you can't really see. The window could have been cracked. It could have been anything. Like, there could have been anything going on. But this woman has every right to roll her window down and say, bro, what are you doing, right? Even though she's parked illegally, you know, this guy here, he should have thought about what he was doing here a little bit.
Anybody else want some? Go ahead.
Oh, because you're so tough, guy, right? Oh, you want some? Oh, you want some, bro? This dude's
Go ahead.
chicken shit, bro.
Justify a dude who started an altercation like this very clearly. Like, even if you're a fucking Nazi, which I know that there are some of you in here that are like watching, looking for an opportunity. Maybe you can like fucking get a rise out of me.
Literally zero Nazis watching his stream, bro. I can guarantee you that. There's zero Nazis on Twitch watching your stream. Guaranteed, bro.
On your 30th fucking sock account. Even if you're literally a Nazi and you're like, oh, it's pretty sick, another black person was murdered, like, defend this guy on the grounds of how fucking annoying he's being. Like,
And that is true. I agree with him there. This guy's being pretty annoying. He could have avoided all of this. This is not what you want to be doing right now. I mean, seriously, bro, like, it's really not. Like, yeah, they're parked in a handicap spot, dude, but there's so much more stuff going on around you out here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just let this shit go, bro. You're being an asshole at this point in time. And so are they. They're being assholes, too, by parking here. You know, that's something he's not saying either. He's not giving them no account. You know, he's saying, oh, they done everything right. Well, they didn't. They were breaking the law, you know, stuff like that. But this guy is not the damn police, right? He should have stayed back. He should have kept his distance.
literally the worst kind of fucking person. Not only is he a racist piece of shit.
Again, no evidence that this guy's racist at all. I truly believe if this would have been a white person parked there, he would have done the same thing. He is just being a dickhead. I mean, straight up, let's just be honest. And so are they. They're being stupid too by parking here. Because like he said in the interrogation room, what if his grandma, who was handicapped, pulled up and needed this spot, right? Again, grandma could have parked right here, which is closer to the door anyway, so this should be the handicap spot. This is this would be a pretty good walk for a handicapped person. But still, the point is this handicap spot. So, you got to kind of understand, they're parking where somebody who might need this spot, when really this would be way more convenient, these spots here. But anyway, this guy should not be doing what he's doing.
But also on top of that, he's an annoying racist piece of shit. Like, the type of person who walks up to a random fucking car and, like, starts instigating.
Again, I agree with him there. Should not be instigating. Should not be over here messing with these people right now. Maybe you walk around and see, maybe you kind of walk to the back, see if they got a handicap sticker and call the police. But you don't do this. Your move should have been here, to the front, to the store, to the car, call the police and leave. Right? That should have been your moves. If you were going to do this, which you should have not done this anyway. I mean, you should have just left.
Was the car running?
I couldn't tell. It's so quiet.
Okay.
These damn cars. It doesn't sound anything like mine, which is
Alright.
like a.
So then when you come back around, is the window rolled down at that point?
No,
or-
only after I get back up in front, and she on my way into the store, and she asked me, you know.
So she rolls her window down?
Yes, sir.
For the record, this is a very similar situation to Kyle Rittenhouse.
This is not even close to the same situation as Kyle Rittenhouse. Not even close.
And what I mean by that is
Okay, so let's listen to this bullshit justification here.
Kyle Rittenhouse was also looking for a legal kill.
Again, he was not looking for a legal kill. He didn't instigate nothing with nobody. We know this now. Kyle Rittenhouse was actually helping people. He was helping the people that he disagreed with. He had a medical kit going around bandaging people up, putting out fires, helping people that he didn't even know, bro. He didn't even know most of these people he was helping out. I mean, just total nonsense. Well, look. Apparently, this guy believes in no type of self-defense at all. And remember, he just said a few minutes ago that if somebody had a weapon, then it could be totally justified. You know, you would make a better case for yourself. But this doesn't apply to Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse, the person who was attacking him, had skateboards hitting him across the head with it. And they had a pistol pointing it to his head. Twice. He pointed the gun towards him, pulled it back, and pointed it at him again. And then Kyle Rittenhouse shot him. And by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse showed extreme restraint, by the way. I mean, this dude was calm under pressure. He didn't shoot anybody who wasn't attacking him. He did everything right. When you look at the Kyle Rittenhouse case, he done everything perfect. He done nothing wrong when it comes to self-defense. So this guy here is just... he's contradicting himself because he said that you could have a weapon, pursue somebody, then that person who shot you would have a case because you had a weapon in your hands, right? Now he's saying that doesn't apply to Kyle Rittenhouse. All right.
In a nearly identical situation to this, he is instigating so he can get a legal kill, which I'm not going to spoil. So,
And who did Kyle Rittenhouse instigate? He didn't instigate nobody. He didn't bother anybody. He didn't do anything. They started chasing him when he put out the dumpster fire. This is all on video, by the way. They were trying, the protesters, which were just rioters, by the way, they had lit a dumpster on fire, a big blazing fire, and they were trying to push it into a gas station to blow the gas station up. They were pushing it next to the gas pumps. And so what did Kyle do? Rittenhouse ran up with a fire extinguisher and he put out the fire. And then they started chasing him because he foiled their plans. He did not go instigate nothing. What he did was right. If you're a common sense person, you believe, right, that putting out that fire probably saved a lot of people's lives, man. Because if that gas station if them gas pumps would have blew up, caught on fire, I mean, that would have been a tragedy, bro. That would have been bad. So, he was a hero in that moment. He didn't instigate nothing, bro. Crazy. Ridiculous.
who knows? But not only did he start it, he knew that if he escalated to a certain degree, he could rely on his gun. That speaks volumes on his intention, provoke, and kill. Yes. These people will keep spamming. Sure, he shouldn't have pushed them.
Why can't he just concede the point that the man shouldn't have pushed him? He's right. The man should have never pushed him. You can say he was protecting his wife, but this guy was not being violent to his wife. He was just talking. He should have walked up and said, "Hey, man, look, back up. Back up a little bit. Back up from my car. Back up from my wife." That would have been reasonable. And then if this guy did not back up and he kept, insisting that he was going to, keep harassing them, quote unquote harassing them, then push him back and say, "All right, man, look, back up now. Like, I'm not playing," right? But the guy didn't give him a chance. He walked up, just straight pushed him to the ground. And he shouldn't have done that either. He should not have done that either. He was wrong for that. And this guy just cannot admit that because the person is black. So if he says the black person is in the wrong in any type of way, guess what he is in his own mind? A Nazi, a white supremacist, right? A racist. But the black guy was wrong too. Let's just be honest.
Do you make verbal contact with her first, or did
She made verbal contact with me first, and
Well,
I
sir.
explained what I did. Asked me what I was doing.
Verbal contact, you can see it in the video. He starts pointing at the front of the car saying, you know, basically saying like, what is this? What are you doing? Do you have a tag? Where's your handicap sticker, etc., right?
Okay, so she asked you what? What are you doing?
What are you
Walking around my
doing?
car?
Yeah, I
And
said
you said-
I'm looking for a handicap placard.
Damn right. Damn right she asked you what were you doing. Damn right.
You know,
Okay.
and then it ensued with, well, what's that matter
So-
to you?
Okay. So when she rolls her window down, she says, hey, you know, what are you doing? How far are you away from the car?
To the front of the car.
Okay, so you're standing at the front?
Yeah, about the front of the car, which is the
Are
edge
you on
of
the
the
curb?
sidewalk. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the sidewalk?
Yeah, I'm not exactly in front of the car. I'm on the sidewalk at the front of the car.
Okay. So after you start talking to her, do you approach the driver's side of the car?
Yeah, just of course, I don't want to yell back and
Right,
forth.
that's-
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So how far do you approach the vehicle,
I'm,
distance-wise, approximately?
God.
You may be wondering why they are
I just want to say it speaks volumes that the moment there's a fucking black, the moment there's a black victim, I've had 60,000 people in here. I've had 50,000 people in here. And the first fucking time there's a black victim, chat, literally half of you motherfuckers lost your shit out of the new people. It's crazy, dude. That's wild. That like the moment we watch a white guy murder the shit out of a fucking black dude and all of the fucking wild takes come flying out. It's weird, dude. Real fucking suspicious, dude.
Okay, so what he's saying, okay, he's completely ridiculous. So what he's saying is basically when you come in asking questions, basically what he's saying is shut up, the black dude did nothing wrong no matter what. I don't care what the situation is, no matter who, what, when, where. If that black person is considered a victim, then you are not allowed to question this under any circumstance. That is what he's trying to say. You are not allowed to have an opinion, right? All right, so I think this is pretty much it for the video because we kind of heard what we needed to hear from this guy. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you want to see more of these. But let me tell you what happened to this guy here. He ended up getting charged with manslaughter, right? And he got sentenced to a pretty good stint in jail, which he should have, by the way. The jury made the right call. The jury made the right call. They charged him with manslaughter, not murder, because, again, the man pushed him to the ground. You can argue that, you know, he was scared, right? But, again, he got charged. America's not this white supremacist system. They agreed with the black people, right? Which any common sense person would when you're watching the video. But all right, that's it, guys. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, man.